Gators got the day off. 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136. We got sidetracked with something we were going to get to. So we're going to do this real quick because, I mean, it's interesting as we wind down the 2019 NFL season. Lions got 2 games to go. Sunday against Denver and then home against Green Bay a week from Sunday. Will they or won't they be a Lion in 2020? And if you want to sound off on any of these, we can. These are guys that are either contract or up, or there's out in their contract, or there's maybe even speculation that they might not be around. Start with Darius Slay. Will he or won't he be a Lion? I think he will be, Khang. And we talked about this briefly yesterday. I think he will be because they have an edict to win now, and I don't think they're going to get a trade offer that's going to give him the return right now when they really need to win right now. I think Slay will be a Lion.
I don't think he will. I told you this yesterday. I'm still standing by it as of right now. I think they're just going to try to clear the room of anyone that doesn't believe in the system, the scheme, the message, whatever you want to call it, whatever they want to call it. I don't think they want Slay in the locker room. I think they'll find a way to move him.
All right, next player, Bo Scarborough. Will he or won't he be a Lion in 2020? I think he will. I think he'll be the third running back, but I think he's done enough where he gets a chance to play on this team next year. And I think that what they're going to do in the draft is going to make a guy like McKissick vulnerable to getting released.
I think I agree with you in one aspect, which is he's done enough to show he can play in this league, but he won't be on this team's roster. I think he'll be trying out for another team come the next season. He won't be here.
Will he won't be a Lion next year? David Blau. I'll let you go first on David Blau.
David Blau is going to be playing his final games as a Lion these last 2 weeks. He will not be with the team next year. I think there will be an emphasis on a backup quarterback, and that will not include guys like David Blau.
I would be shocked if he's on the roster next year. He would have to play extremely well these final 2 games. A'Shawn Robinson, will he or won't he be a Lion next year?
I think they're going to move on from A'Shawn Robinson. They're going to go to the draft. They draft a couple linemen this past season. I know they're outside guys in Bryant and forgot the other guy's name, but Deshaun Han is basically another draft pick if you ask me because he didn't play at all this year. Those are outside guys, but like versatility. In obvious passing downs, to move those guys inside. You saw them go after Mike Daniels and sign Mike Daniels this offseason. I think they'll do something similar like that. I think they move on from A'Shawn. They extended Snacks, so the other side, the other position, starting position, defensive tackle will be open.
They got a lot of guys to sort out up front, A'Shawn being one of them. You know, they've committed to Harrison. Look, Derek Brown very well could be the pick, and he would go nicely next to Damon Harrison. And A'Shawn's due a big payday. So, you know, the money they put into Trey Flowers, you mentioned Austin Bryant, there's Deshaun Han, there's Romeo Okwara still. So we'll see how it all works out. But I don't think A'Shawn Robinson will be back next year either. Logan Thomas, tight end. I don't think he'll be back next year. Just because I think they're going to go with a really cheap option, maybe even a low-round draft pick or somebody like that. But I don't think Logan Thomas will be back.
I do think they draft another guy maybe in the 7th, 6th round. I think he will be back because I think my surprise cut, I'm calling it right now very early, is going to be Jesse James. I think they paid him or signed him to a big contract, and he barely got used in the passing game this year. They can find someone else to do that. That would be Logan Thomas. I think they come in and try to get a true blocking tight end, and they roll with Thomas, Hawkinson, and whoever that yet to be determined tight end will be. And it won't be Jesse James.
Danny Amendola, do you think he'll be back next year?
I don't. I think they want him back. I think he's not going to want to come back, to be honest with you. And not that people are going to be knocking down the door for Danny Amendola, but I think that second he finds a decent offer from a decent team, I think he's gone. And then I think that's when the Lions have to go back to the draft and find, like I told you, that guy, that stick of dynamite, that home run hitter, and 3rd, 4th round could be a possibility for a receiver.
I think this regime loves him, and they're going to make him a priority and bring him back.
I think they want him back. I'm not sure he wants to come back.
Yeah, but you said it yesterday or a couple days ago. Money talks, and
Absolutely.
I think they'll pay him more. They got cap space. I think they'll pay him more than others will. Punter Sam Martin, do you think he will be back? I do. One of the best at inside the 20 in the NFL. I think he'll be back.
I'm like a 50-50 on this one. I mean, personally, I'd like to move on from Sam Martin just because the one thing that stands out to me is the one time we really needed him was that playoff game in Dallas, and he shanked it, and you know the rest. I think he's a bit overrated. I think they'd like to bring the continuity of Prater, Martin, and Muhlbach, just to keep that coming back. I mean, So right now I'll say he comes back, but, I would not be surprised, and I'd actually prefer it if he just moved on.
He doubles as the kickoff guy, too. I think Tim Martin will be back. Jesse James, you mentioned you think he's gone. I think he will be back. Rick Wagner, I think he's back, and this is a tough one because they can get out of his contract, save $6 million this year, or $5.5 million, or whatever it is, and $9 million next year, but then they got to find another starter. And I get that you might not be crazy about him, but I don't think there's anybody in this locker room that's ready to take that spot. And I don't want to dedicate a high draft pick to the position. So I think they bring him back.
I think they're going to bring him back, and they preach depth. And one of the depth I think that they like is that Crosby is the backup tackle for Decker and Wagner. And I think they like that trio right there. So I think they bring back Wagner. If anything happens, I think they're confident in Crosby, so I think that's their solution. I think that you're right. I don't think they want to use another draft pick on a starting tackle, so I think they roll with the veterans.
And finally, Graham Glasgow, free agent. I think he has to come back. I think they'll sign him.
I think so, too. I think that when they make these coaching staff changes in the offseason, which we presume they will, I think Bevel might be the only safe one. Everyone else, who knows? I think they emphasize run blocking. Maybe that's a new offensive line coordinator. I think they like Glasgow, and I think they're trying to use, my guess would be more draft picks on defense to get the type of guys they want, and so they don't want to waste another draft pick on an offensive lineman. If
they improve the defense, they can survive with this offensive line. You can't plug every hole. You can't be perfect everywhere. And I think this offensive line, especially when it comes to pass blocking, isn't that bad. All right, 248-539-9797 if you want to debate any of this. Mel Kiper, can the Lions get a steal in the second round? Hear what he has to say at 11:20. 97.1.